So Joe Biden has a view of politics that's stuck in the 1990s, or maybe even 1980s, depending on how you look at it. But this is a fundamentally incorrect view of politics. It's a naive view of politics, and it's no way at all to get stuff done if you actually have policy beliefs and core values that you want to implement. So here he is laying it out, and then we'll come back and criticize.
The last thing I remember talking to him about politically with you, Bo, was, what is the quality? Because he was asking me about, what do you take from your father and this? What did Andrew take? Bo Biden said to me, nobody fights like my father. What does that mean to you, to fight harder than anybody else?
I think it means two things. One, to fight without being personal, to fight and convince. The role of a president is to persuade, not just go out and fight. If they want someone with a clenched fist, bare knuckle fight, closed hand, closed heart, they got one of those guys right now. That's not me. I have been pretty darn good at bringing people together. The whole idea of America is that when we're together, there's not a damn thing we can't do. And look, the most incredible response I always get for the last 3 years is when I talk about how optimistic am I about the future. People know it. They feel it. They know it. They understand it. And we can't stay in this state. What are we going to do? What are we going to do if we can't get along better? And part of it is persuasion. And people looking at you say, I know what he means. He'll stay with what he says, and he'll do what he says he's going to do. And I think that's part of leading.
Jesus Christ. So that is just full-bore Ronald Reaganism sprinkled in with New Democrat triangulation, Bill Clintonism. That's like the Morning in America bullshit. So here's what's wrong with that. Let's go through it. First of all, it's a softball down the center of the plate from Chris Cuomo, who basically said to him, hey, Bo Biden said that nobody fights like my father. How much of a fighter are you, Joe? I mean, that's like, here you go. I'm giving you exactly what you need. Knock this sucker out of the park. And Biden, totally over his head. And he goes, me, bro? No. I'm not a fighter. I'm a persuader. Oh, God, no. Oh, what have you done? And he actually says about Trump, oh, you want like a bare-knuckle guy who's swinging haymakers? Well, you got that guy now. Oh, shut up, Joe. Shut up. God damn it. I'm more about persuasion. I'm not a fighter. Trump's a fighter. That's not me. Hey, Joe, this is an anti-establishment, populist, anti-corruption era. People do not like Washington, D.C. They hate Washington, D.C. In some polls, you have like herpes and cockroaches outpolling Congress. Why do you think that is, Joe? Why do you think that is? You want to know why? Because nobody likes you guys. Nobody likes you. Nobody likes your elitist nonsense. So perhaps, it was viewed as a positive by the American people that Trump was unhinged and, this guy might actually break stuff up and change stuff. All right, let's go in that direction. And what do? You feed into that narrative. You just gave Trump the exact narrative he wants. Oh, Sleepy Joe Biden it represents the status quo, and me, I'm a fighter. I'm shaking things up. I'm making this country great again. So then he pivots from that nonsense. I'm a persuader, not a fighter. Really? How'd that work under Obama, where you were trying to persuade people? Oh, that's right. You only were able to persuade Republicans to do Republican policies under Obama. That's how far your persuasion got you. I will agree to do all of your ideas. Is that okay? Okay. Then he goes to the hokey, corny, cheesy, we're America. Do you not understand that? That means we're Americans. Oh. Let the bugle music play and wash over you. Take a patriotism bath, bitch. Ah. I mean, this is This is the kind of corny nonsense. There's not a damn thing we can't do because we're America, except Medicare for all. Definitely can't do that because that's too hard and that's too expensive and that's too much of a rewiring of the economy. And I know every other developed nation has it, but don't worry about that. Forget that fact. Put that fact out of your mind. Don't think about it. Don't bring it up. Shut the fuck up. Never bring it up ever again. But other than that, there's not a damn thing we can't do. Except free college either. Free college, that's too hard. That's too extreme. I mean, you got $1.6 trillion in student loan debt, and what I say is fuck them, make the students pay it. You know what I'm saying? I care more about the banks than the students, but I usually don't say that part out loud. But anyway, so what we can't do free college. But outside of that, there's not a damn thing America can do. Except end all the wars. We have to stay in Iraq. We have to stay in Afghanistan. So I just need you to pipe down and don't say too much about that because, that's business as usual. That's us being the policeman of the world. That's what I know. Listen, I know. Our infrastructure's crumbling. It gets a grade of D+ according to the Society of Civil Engineers. But just trust me on this one. Please be quiet and just accept it for how it is. But outside of that, there's not a damn thing we can't do. Except free all the nonviolent drug offenders and legalize recreational marijuana. That I'm not really in favor of because I think that goes too far and I'm old school and I think that you should abide by the rules and sure, I helped write the crime bill but don't worry about that either because that's irrelevant to the larger conversation. But outside of all, there's not a damn thing we can't do. Thank you, Joe, for your... See, what they try to do is substitute policy substance with corny, hokey, cheesy, flowery rhetoric and platitudes and cliches. That's the trick. Instead of actually giving you tangibles and saying, hey, here's what we're actually going to do, like Bernie, and I have a record proving this. We're going to get Medicare for all. We're going to get free college. We're going to get a living wage. We're going to end the wars. Instead of doing all that, he says, okay, forget all the policy stuff. I'm just going to say nice words, and then you need to fill in the blank in your own mind. We're America. There's not a damn thing we can't do. And then finally, he has the nerve to say at the end of this, people are optimistic. When I talk to them, they get it. People are optimistic. In my experience, it's the exact opposite. People are like, holy shit. It looks like the climate is changing in a way that's irreversible, and we ain't doing Dickie McGee's acts to try to fix it. People aren't optimistic, they're scared. And they're beaten down by the corrupt, elitist, disgusting politics in Washington, D.C. that never gives them a break. So I can't tell you how bad his strategy is. Joe Biden is stuck in the 1980s and the 1990s. He took a dash of Reaganism with the optimistic Morning in America bullshit, and he mixed it with the new Democrat Clintonism, the triangulation, the third way politics, sprinkled that in, and then, he walks out there and acts like he's nailing it. But that's the exact wrong strategy. And it's copying Hillary Clinton 2016, and it will fizzle out. And God forbid, he get the nomination. If he actually gets the nomination and he's up against Trump, that is terrifying.